This is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be taking a look at a mod called the Destructible building. And yes, I have made a video for this mod in the past, but that was many years ago, and this is a brand new version of the mod from the ground up. And to be honest, this version is like 100 times better than the old version. So we have two options here. We have the single, and then we have the single with windows. I'm going to start with the one without windows because that one kind of looks like a garage, which would be a good place to park your car. And then we'll take a look at the other one. So here is the building. And unlike the previous one, where it was just made out of big solid walls that would kind of glitch away, this one is actually made out of a bunch of individual bricks. So you can see if I just decide I'm going to pull this brick out, yeah, we can do that. And the building still has structural strength with only one brick missing. But if you start moving more and more bricks, eventually the building will crumble. So we're just going to keep removing them until it does crumble. And it's actually holding up pretty well. Oh, there it goes. The building is crumbling. Well, one side of the building is crumbling. You can almost do this like Jenga, right? You take turns removing a block from the very bottom, and then, oh, that was a good block to remove. And then whoever removes the last block loses. So let's see, remove this block, and we are still going for Jenga mode. Barely. This block is gone. This is probably a game over, isn't it? Yep, there goes the last wall. So as you can see, the structure of the building is completely different from the previous version of this mod. And it might as well be a brand new mod compared to the old one because of how much has changed. So let's go ahead and try parking my drag car into the garage. But what if you're a really bad driver? So bad, in fact, you probably shouldn't even have a license, let alone a car made for drag racing. So you go and try to pull this thing into your garage. You kind of get stuck on the wall a little bit. You don't know what's going on, so you floor it. And then you smash into the other side of your garage as well. How well does it hold up? Well, we still got the left and right walls doing fine. We got some of the back wall, and then just one pillar of the front over here. Overall, it held up surprisingly well. So how about we go ahead and go for a little bit of a round two on this thing. And let's say I went and got my drag car repaired, and then I realized I couldn't afford that. Thankfully, I have homeowners insurance, and it's time to commit some insurance fraud. So all we do is we accelerate into the wall with just enough speed to hopefully go through both of the walls. They are both broken. And I am ready to call up my insurance agent, except one of the walls is still there. That's better. And then we call up the insurance agent saying, hey, yeah, my walls are broken. It totally wasn't my fault. I need a new house. And they say, okay, here's your new house. To their face, I say, thank you so much for fixing my house. I am so happy. Internally, I am furious. They did not add the windows that I wanted to my house, and it still has no windows, and it's just a garage, basically. I'm so mad. What I do is I call up my buddy. Now, my buddy, he also loves insurance fraud just like me. He owns a failing trucking business that doesn't actually do any deliveries. All they do is they buy trucks and they wreck them. So I say, hey, can you come wreck a house for me? He says, yeah. I'll be there in 18 seconds. And the deal has been made. And if you're wondering why this truck has such a fancy paint job for an insurance scam, that's where the money comes from. It's all in paint jobs. He is a really weird insurance scam, but it works for him. So anyways, he's going to come to my building right at the corner because that's where you can do the most damage. Good speed, good angle, except for the camera. Let's get a good camera angle. That'll work. Perfect hit. I got right in the corner and blew this whole wall to pieces. I'm assuming the front and backs are gone. How about the other side? It's actually holding still a little bit, but I feel like there's so much debris kind of bouncing around. It might be able to take it out just from that. Yep. Just have to do a little bit of a glare at it, and the building has been destroyed. The truck has been destroyed enough for the insurance scam for him to work. His truck looks a lot better than my building, that's for sure. So once again, I call up my insurance agent and I say, hey, it didn't work. You know what I think the problem is? I think it had no windows and it made it too reflective or something. So they say, fine, here, you now have a building with windows. And I am so happy, except they built it at the wrong angle. What I really should say is, sometimes when you switch out the buildings like that, the angle changes. And I say, well, this could be a problem because with the building being at this angle, there's a high probability that a random bird could fly into the window and smash into it and ruin my building. And they say, what? What are you talking about? There's no bird that's big enough to ruin a building. And I said, but have you seen these pigeons, man? They are huge and they travel in packs. A pack of pigeons, it really could destroy a building, I bet. And at this point, the insurance guy has just completely tuned me out and just thinks I'm some crazy dude. And they wonder why they spent $2 million repairing my house over and over and over in the last 10 minutes. And I guess I should mention, the AI cannot chase a building, but you know what they can chase? Any vehicle. And that's the reason I'm spawning up the vehicle, because now I can just tell the AI to go ahead and chase them. And they should be coming down the road at any minute, but me and the insurance guy are having a new argument whether or not this is a garage or a house. Sometimes I claim it's a house, sometimes it's a garage. He doesn't know He says, let me try parking my car in it. That'll be a good way to tell. And he's like, okay, yeah, this is a garage. And I'm not paying attention. I'm over here freaking out because the pigeons are coming. And I warned him and I said, dude, I warned you the pigeons were coming, but you didn't listen. And now they're about to wreck my house. And he's just busy driving in and out of the garage still like, yeah, this is a garage. Doesn't even care. The pigeons are completely trying to wreck it. And all they actually managed to do was just one wall. Well, 1 1/4 wall, basically. They took out the doorway. Here's one more pigeon, though, coming in for the final hit. You know what? I know the pigeons could have done a lot better if they had a better driver. And maybe a little bit faster version. I give them the ones with stabilizers because I figured the AI would probably tip it over. Me, though, I can use the 600 efficiently, probably. I want to be going about 50 miles per hour at least on impact. And I think just the straightaway should be enough for that, as long as I don't tip it over completely. Get on your wheels, bird. There we go. Okay, get into gear. And here we go. Like I said, I want to go about 50 miles per hour. I'm pretty sure I'll make it from here, if not a little bit more than that. Yep, 50. That's good for me. Here's the impact. How much damage did it do? I went right for the corner because I know that's where you can do the damage, but I don't know if we really had enough weight for that. And the building actually held up surprisingly well. It's slowly crumbling from the impacts. This back wall's coming down, and it looks like the side wall's going in. Yeah, it's gone. And then back wall, how about you? Yeah, so I did a lot more damage than all those pigeons did combined. All right, so now at this point, the insurance guy's like, you know what? We need to build this car somewhere else. That's the problem. So where are they going to build it? They're going to build it in a very smart place. They're going to build it right in the middle of the highway. And you know what? I think it's time that we come clean. No more insurance scams. By that, what I really mean is I'm done giving you the little reason why a crash is happening, because I can only make up so many reasons for a building being crashed into. But there is still a bunch of tests I want to do to see what happens to the building. So that's why I came to the highway. We have a big, wide open road where we can get up to high speeds and then smash into the building and hopefully obliterate in a multitude of ways. And this should be far enough away to get up to a good speed with just about any vehicle I plan to drive. So let's go ahead and spawn up the building, and I'm going to use the one without the windows because I want that little bit of extra structural strength. So we'll grab the truck, bring it back, and then we're going to just drive at it with the truck. We're going to start by driving right through the middle of the building. If that works pretty well, we'll drive into the corner of the building. So with the corner of the building, we're going to try to drive through like 6 rows of blocks all at once. I'm almost certain when we try that, it's going to fail and the truck's just going to get smooshed. But going through the middle of it and just hitting one layer, I think it'll be able to get through there. Might not be able to drive afterwards, but it should probably get through there, and something's not right. Broke down a little bit. That's not good. All right. Don't know what caused that, but it's now fixed, and we can smash into this. I want to do this at full speed with a good camera angle, so let's make sure we can get the best camera angle imaginable. I think just like that should be good. You'll see the vehicle pop through, and there it goes. You can take a look at the wall. It's slowly crumbling. How is the vehicle, though? Okay, the vehicle is basically completely immobilized, although the front wheels will rotate. And back to the wall, it actually flattened it completely. There are no stacks of blocks remaining. So in the end, it did a pretty good job. Since it managed such a good job going through the middle, maybe it will do something hitting it in the corner. I honestly still do not expect it to do anything amazing, but now I at least feel like it has a chance. A very, very small chance, but a chance nonetheless. Because it did lose quite a bit of speed going through only one layer. I figured going through 6 layers, it's going to lose so much speed, there's just no way. But let's not just guess, let's find out. And again, they're falling over. I guess I probably put it on a slant. That's probably what happened. The ground isn't perfectly level. We're not going to worry about that, though. Instead, we're going to worry about how is the truck going to go through here. Let's find out. Oh, yep, it stopped. That worked just as well as I expected, pretty much. The truck was pretty much stopped by hitting the wall, and it only got to like 2 or 3 layers before it really couldn't make it any farther. Yeah, we damaged more than 2 or 3, but that's as far as the truck got, was just 2 or 3. And we're picking up some of the blocks in the bed of the truck, and those blocks are pretty heavy. I don't even know if the truck can manage that. And the rest of the wall, it's gonna get to stand because there's no way for me to do anything about that. This truck is stuck, so we'll reset the truck and the wall, and then we're gonna get something a little bit heavier. How about we go with the H45 ambulance? It's a little bit heavier, and it's not the same vehicle I always do. It's not like, well, time to use the D35 Beast like I always do. We'll get something a little bit different. We'll get the ambulance. And we gotta make sure, can it fit through here easy? Yeah, it can fit. Don't know if I would call that easy, though. It did not look like we had a lot of space on either side. So with this one, I'm gonna try it in the middle first, and then try it on the sides if I think it'll be worth it. It really just all depends what happens when we go through the middle. If it gets slowed down a lot in the middle, I'm going to assume it's probably not going to be that much different than the truck. And we got to make sure everything is standing. And I probably should have just froze physics when I did that, but that worked out. And hold up. Are we taller than the entryway? It looks like we are. Oh, this might not be good. This might be ugly. Oh, it's actually okay. It made it through, although it did crash. And it basically crashed into 2 layers, and that really slowed it down. This thing's actually going slower than the regular truck did. In fact, I think it was going at a slower speed as well. Even though it had more weight behind it, that wasn't enough to help with the lower speed, I don't think. It made it through, though. Still drivable, but so was the other pickup truck, basically. It was just stuck on a block. Although, it might be drivable enough for us to go and smash that little piece of the wall that's still standing. If only it could steer a little bit better. Come on, ambulance. You can make this. Around the blocks on the floor, just ignore them. Pretend they're not there, and here we go. Beautiful. That is complete destruction of a home. So we'll try a different vehicle once again. This time we're going to go with a Wentworth DT40L, and we're going to get the Hero version. If this doesn't go as well as I hope, then we can also go ahead and get the one with the ram plow attached. But I think the Hero should be enough to do some serious damage to the house, if not completely flatten it, just by hitting one side of it. And I can tell you with 100% certainty, though, the bus will not be able to drive because it already can't drive. I just broke the engine. Anyways, let's go ahead and get everything lined up. Then we got to get that good camera angle where you can see everything hopefully get destroyed. This one I want to focus on what happens to the building, so that looks pretty good. And 100 times slow on this because we're going over 200 miles per hour. And oh my goodness, the bus is caving in. I thought I would actually be able to go through a decent amount, but the bus is a lot of big pieces of metal that bend easily. So you hit something heavy and it compresses, but it does get through it. Like, it is actually pushing through the wall still, and it's going to get completely through it with some speed going. Oh, that's kind of interesting. The blocks in the air kind of makes a loop over the height of my bus because none of them are in the place where my bus was. They all kind of got pushed upwards and away. So anyways, go ahead and put this thing all the way down to 4 times, 2 times, and then eventually real time. And you can see we had quite a bit of speed left because we're just sliding along. We're not even rolling along. We even have some thruster left, so we could do that. And we're out. That's all we could do. Could have went pretty fast if we had more thrust. There has to be a mod that gives you unlimited thrusters, right? Someday I gotta check for that. Anyways, somehow one of the walls stood. I don't really know how that happened, but it did. I'm actually sad about that. I was hoping we could get all of them. So if we want to get all of them, we need a bigger weapon. For that, we're going to get the Ram Bus, which is basically the Hero with the Ram Plow attachment. And this should have absolutely no problem smashing its way through the whoops. You know what? I think this thing might be too fat to make it through there because the Ram Plow sticks out. You can see it real clearly sticking out. And it might just hit both sides right here. Let's see, slowing it down. Hits the right side, and oh, the left side's even worse. So yeah, it does not fit. Thankfully, there is a solution. We'll just go ahead and teleport it in front of the toll booth and make sure it's a nice fresh one that's not dented, and we're good to go. Shouldn't be that big of a speed difference, probably only about maybe 10, 15 miles per hour. We're still gonna be going at least 200 miles per hour, I would assume. And with that much speed, this thing shouldn't stand much of a chance. So yeah, 206, 7 miles per hour. And we're going to hit it right in the corner just as before. Let's see if this Ram Plow can help. Oh, come on, Ram Plow. Nope, it did not help. I think the bus is just a little too gentle. The Ram Plow might have done a little bit, but again, the bus, it looks pretty similar to the last one. Like, if I put the two side by side, you would say they're near equally destroyed. The Ram Plow did not help, although it did help destroy the building. It actually got all the walls this time. But what I'm going to try is I'm going to try a vehicle that's a little more dense and then also still with the Ram Plow. And for that, there's actually only one option. It is the T-Series T65 Ram Plow because there's literally nothing else that has a Ram Plow attachment. And I really do wish this thing had 8 wheels in the back instead of just 4. In fact, that's one of those things I always forget to do. One day I need to just go and make all the custom cars that I've always thought should exist. Like, there are a handful where I'm like, man, I wish this was this and this was that. Someday, I swear, that video will come where it's just a bunch of the configurations I've always wished existed. But this video, it's about this building we're going to blow up. And yes, I did say blow up because that's what I expect the T-Series to do. I expect it to blow up the building. So here we go, smashing it right into the corner. Can the front handle the damage? That is the question. It's pushing through as hard as it possibly can, but it just isn't gonna make it. It's doing better than the bus, though. The bus is crumpled like a piece of paper by now. This one, it's still got some shape to it. It's crumpling like a paper plate. You know, it's a little bit harder to crumple, but you can still crumple a paper plate, no problem. It's actually making it through on this side. It kind of got deflected off. That's interesting. The bus really felt like it was going straight and true. This one felt like it bounced off of it. Huh. Is that other wall gonna fall or is it gonna continue standing? Let's see. Looks like it is gonna stay strong. Actually, I have pretty good drivability still. I can come back for that other wall and make sure it can't stand strong. Or, I got an even better idea. What if the building was bigger? We're gonna make it bigger by stacking one on top of another. So we go to the map editor with F11, hit Shift C to move the camera. We wanna go to the prop selection mode, I think it's called, and then we're gonna go ahead and select the vehicle. And we're gonna even out the numbers right here. So we're gonna make this one a nice even number, and then same goes for this one. It doesn't matter what number it is, it just has to be close to where it's already at. And then we copy paste it, and we're gonna move this one right above the other one, so I'll just change the coordinates to match. So there we go, and there we go. That looks pretty good. They look like they're lined up, but we gotta do the vertical by hand. So I'm just gonna go ahead and eyeball this, so you can see there's a gap, and we just make it as small as we possibly can. That looks good. Although I'm noticing it's not lining up exactly how I expected. That's kind of unusual. Let's see what happens here. That's not what's supposed to happen at all. No, it's cool to watch. Not what the goal was exactly. I think I know what's happening though. You see over here, this ground is not flat. And that's why it's sitting crooked like that. And that's why it's always falling over all the time. So let's go to a map where I know the ground is going to be flat enough. And really we have either grid small pure or grid map for that. So let's just go to grid map. All right, I went ahead and duplicated the setup procedure, and as you see, it does work, at least for a little bit. Eventually, it does seem to collapse on its own, but it'll stay long enough for us to get a car through it most of the time, it seems like. Here it goes, it's starting to collapse, and bye-bye! So anyways, if you do the reset, you just freeze physics, reset both of them, and then it'll be fine. So now for the vehicle, just like before, we're going to be using the T-Series with the ram plow attachment. And we should have a lot of room to get the speed. If the building falls before I get there, that is not a huge concern because I can just reset it again. I just gotta be careful not to accidentally set the truck because then I have to drive all over again, which would be really annoying and dumb. Now you can see it's now completely fallen and it's just rubble on the ground, which I kind of want to go through. Not this time, but I kind of want to see what the ram plow does with that. So we'll reset both the buildings, and then here we go. Get that slow-mo going. 100 times slow-mo here. We're going to hit our roof, aren't we? Yep. We hit our roof. There goes the whole cab. We just stripped the whole cab from this thing pretty much. It's gone. The cab is gone. Front's still there. Engine's still there, looking good. You can see the engine. It says gravel on it and everything. All right, into the wall we go. We still got a lot of speed going, I think. We'll speed it up a little bit to 16 times. Watch it busting through. Looking good. And the top actually mostly stayed intact so far. Like, it's gonna collapse on itself in a second, but it did a pretty good job of still being a solid object until now. Now it's starting to completely fall apart. All right, so full speed. I'm assuming those walls will collapse. There we go. And now we just have rubble. And like I said, I want to try driving this thing through the rubble and see what happens. So let's try that real quickly. And then I'm gonna try driving into the corner of the building once more. And that might be it. It depends if I come up with any more ideas that I want to test while I drive through this rubble. Should be able to go about 70 to 80 miles per hour, I think. I wasn't looking at the speedometer last time, but it felt like we were going pretty fast. Yeah, at least 80 miles per hour. A little bit more than that, actually. It's going to go up to 90. And then let's see what happens. We'll do about 8 times slow-mo to see where we go through this rubble. Oh, we're flying in the air. The rubble stops you. You can't get under it with the ram plow. Not what I expected exactly, but that is an outcome, and it's an acceptable one. We're completely stuck. Time to reset and go for another round. Now, I'm not going to reset the building until we're actually close to it, because if I reset it now, I'm pretty sure I'll just have to reset it again anyways, and it'll just be a waste of time. So I'm pretty sure it's going to deflect us off just like before. But my question is how much drivability will we have after we plow through the entire thing? And will the cab of the truck still be there? All kinds of questions. They will be answered after this 90-mile-per-hour impact into the building. So 16 times slow-mo looks pretty good. All right, we are still getting deflected just as hard. I don't think it's any harder than before, though. The cab has been damaged, but it's still attached. And we're plowing through the other side. That actually looks like it might be intact more than the other one where I just shaved the cab off of the truck. Yeah. Even though the collision was a lot more violent, we were actually immobilized from that. We kind of got to shift down and then get up to speed a bit. We can drive at least, so that's a positive. And I think that's all we're going to do with the truck. But now I want to try something using a Burnside Special. And of course, you got to get the drag edition to go as fast as possible. And before I do this, I should mention we do have some customizability with the house. For example, we can change the color of things. We can make all of the blocks blue on one of them. And then for the other one, we can make all the blocks a green. Looks kind of weird, but it's just an example of colors, man. I never said it would look good, okay? You can also change the chrominess so they look really chromy. You could have a chrome building. Don't know why you would do that, but you can. And then you could also change the parts. So by that, I mean you could change the walls that are on the outside of the building. So on this one, you have the regular walls, and then you have the wall with garage opening. But any of these pretty much can be swapped out for a different wall. All of the side walls can be a wall or a wall with windows. And then the front and rears can either be a wall or a wall with windows, or it can be a wall with a garage opening. So you could actually have one that's a super solid kind of structure where it's just all walls all around like that. Or you could have one that's really, really wide open where it has windows and garages. And I don't even know if it'll be able to hold the weight of the other one anymore, but this is what it would look like. There we go. So lots of options there. I just mostly stuck to the other one because I wanted the extra structural strength as we smashed into it. So let's see if it'll still hold up okay with this on top of it after those changes. It's not going to hold up well. It's only got a few seconds before it collapses, and there's no wall for me to actually crash into if I do this, so that's not going to work. We need to fix this real quickly. And I'm just going to make it identical to how it was before I messed it up. So we have regular walls on all three sides, and then we also have the garage opening. And I had to look a second. Is this the left, right, front? So that should be the good setup. Perfect. I'll start and collapse. We'll fix it later. Right now, it's time to drive my Burnside Special. This thing should get close to 200 miles per hour. And then we're going to just smash into the wall. And I expect this thing to pretty much get obliterated from doing this. So reset the buildings. And here we go, 176 miles per hour. Got to make sure we get a good camera angle with 100 times slow-mo so you can really watch the impact. Impact is happening. How much damage is it doing? It is doing a lot of damage. My goodness. We might as well have hit a solid brick wall that did so much damage. I mean, that basically is a solid brick wall, but you know what I mean. One that doesn't deform at all in BeamNG.drive. Wow. So that's what the car looks like. It doesn't look like a car anymore. And as for the building, it should be coming down wall by wall, brick by brick. Go ahead and go to real time for this. And then it crumbles. For some reason, it's really neat to me to watch it crumble like that. Anyways, now we're going to go ahead and do some leap of death testing. And just for a minute, imagine how easy it would be if the house could drive. Instead of having to drop it, you just drive right down off the edge. Yeah, but it don't got no wheels, so it can't drive. Go ahead and change the color since I already did it once. We'll make it red so it stands out on Leap of Death. And I want to make sure I'm dropping a house. I'm not dropping a collection of bricks. So there we go. We're now dropping a house. We'll see what the camera... Oh, okay. This is what the camera does. That is very, very obnoxious. I'm just going to manage the camera manually. And boy, is that moving fast. I don't want to miss the impact. So we'll drop it to 8 times slow-mo. And it's going to make impact right around here. So let's make sure we can see it happening. That looks like it could be a good camera angle. There, beautiful. All the bricks are just scattering everywhere, just as you'd expect. And at this point, it's no longer a house. It's just a bunch of bricks. And we're going to watch them and see how far down Leap of Death they can get. And this is pretty much going to be the end for this video because there's no real way to do brutal slope with a house. And oh my goodness, it's beautiful. It's like fireworks, ain't it? I'm really liking this. It looks cool. But that's going to do it for this video. And until next time, this has been WhyBeAre. And remember, if you like or dislike this video, I will know. I can tell by the number of bricks used in the house. So do the right thing, and I'll see you next time.